Thank you so much, John. You are too kind. When John told me I'd been selected for this award, my initial reaction was, why me? Nothing I have done over my career should be seen as extraordinary. Rather, what I've done is meet my professional responsibility to provide legal services to people who can't afford them. The real servants of justice are those who do this work full-time. People like my fellow honoree, Avis Buchanan, and legal aid staff. They spend every day working to make justice real for people who can't afford a lawyer. But since legal aid has chosen to honor me, let me talk just a bit about my pro bono work as a legal services and civil rights lawyer. I started my career at Covington and Burling and was truly fortunate to be what legal aid calls a loaned associate. In my second year, I spent 8 months at the Neighborhood Legal Services Program, doing work much like legal aiders do. I help families stave off eviction, navigate the public benefits maze, and solve other civil problems. My early pro bono experience made me a better lawyer. I got used to standing up in court. I got experience negotiating settlements. I even had 3 pro bono arguments in the Fourth Circuit while I was still an associate. I do insurance litigation for my paying work, and I got to use my insurance expertise in several impact cases involving insurance redlining, a notorious cause of urban underinvestment in housing. And we secured important changes in underwriting as a result. I've also been involved in several cases challenging real estate developers who build apartments that were inaccessible to persons with disabilities. Thousands of rental units have been retrofitted to be accessible as a result of these cases. And most recently, I have worked with legal aid and many others on the Path-Breaking Right to Counsel project. This project seeks to inject significant pro bono resources into eviction defense cases, and ultimately to reform the way the landlord-tenant court operates. The project focuses on tenants in subsidized housing for a critical reason. Tenants evicted from subsidized housing not only lose their homes, they lose their subsidies. What a perverse form of double jeopardy. It's an understatement to say that the L&T court was pretty bad when I first handled eviction cases. As the first servant of justice honoree, Covington's Charlie Horsky said, "The landlord and tenant court is an abomination. It handles thousands of cases a year in the most outlandish fashion." Well, things have improved, at least a little bit since then. And Eric tells me that today's Superior Court is deeply committed to emerging from this pandemic with a fairer eviction system. But it is still an abomination anytime a family is unnecessarily evicted from their home because they were not fortunate enough to have a lawyer by their side. How much difference does a lawyer make? Well, based on data from the Housing Right to Counsel project, compared to tenants without counsel, represented tenants are 16 times more likely to raise a meritorious defense, 8 times less likely to have a judgment entered, and 4 times less likely to have an eviction order issued. Lawyers make a difference. The problem certainly isn't limited to housing cases. The Legal Services Corporation has found that low-income Americans receive inadequate or no professional legal help for 86% of their civil legal problems. How sad and disturbing is this? In a country dedicated to the rule of law, in a country with one of the highest number of lawyers per capita in the world. Obviously, I'm preaching to the choir, but as long as people go unrepresented because they can't afford a lawyer, we in the private bar are simply not doing enough. Each of us has the professional responsibility, the skills, the experience, the resources, and the opportunity to do so much more. We must all serve the cause of equal justice for all. We must take pro bono cases. We must give deeply and generously to legal aid and the cause of access to justice for our low-income neighbors. In the 1960s, I was inspired by Bobby Kennedy. In a speech in apartheid South Africa, he said, "Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, which combined with other tiny ripples can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance." I hope I have had a ripple effect over my career. As we emerge from this pandemic, the need will be even greater than ever. I urge each of you to find an opportunity to contribute your own ripple. Let's make justice real for all of our fellow citizens. Thank you.